Hello, my name is Blowup. Welcome to my channel. This is a first video in a new series that's all about Minecraft gameplay, building, and even a little bit about the game's community. I've been playing Minecraft since 2012, so whether you're a beginning player or an advanced player, or somewhere in between, I'm hoping to provide a little bit of perspective or maybe just a tad of inspiration. Today's video is going to be about 7 different block palettes that you may have never ever considered. These are all survival friendly, so of course I'm just going to get this out of the way. Feel free to steal them, feel free to adapt them and put them into your worlds. So I'll be walking you through each little palette on the center island first, explaining my thought process and what makes it unique. And then on the outer islands, I have small applications of each block palette, little builds in very different styles, each and every one of them, that show what I was thinking, but also maybe it will spark your inspiration when you decide to use one of these. Let's not hold off any further. The first palette is right here behind me. You'll see that it has birch logs and wood. It has gonna have polished diorite. This is definitely a high contrast build. You can see with the regular old Blackstone here and the black concrete powder. The windows in my example build are mostly light gray stained glass panes, and then the special different block that might not be used a whole lot, but I decided to throw in, is the Composter. Two things that make it unique are the hollow middle. I definitely took advantage of that, and then on the bottom side it has this really neat texture that you'll see over in our example. So let me fly over there and I'll meet you guys on the other side. As we fly in, I hope y'all take note of the similarity I did here with texture. This is like farmland texture, and then here's the side of the composters. This was actually not originally planned. I had the Blackstone, like this edge here was on the ground, and then I decided to move the base a couple blocks up. I don't even know if you call it a base, but it definitely needed that height, and that's where the composters came in, and then the farmland from there. Moving up, you'll see I use mostly birch logs and Blackstone walls as columns. Again, those stained glass panes as windows. On the inside, very sparse decoration, painting and anvil, some polished diorite stairs as chairs, and even a composter with some sea pickles on top of it as a little bit of a table decoration. The ceiling is something I definitely want to point out. It has the bottom of the composter as its texture, which is gorgeous, and it's alternated with lanterns for definitely that modern feel. You'll also see on the top here the Blackstone slabs, and then the composters. It creates an alternating design that turned out really nicely. So this second design here was totally taken from my SMP. I am definitely building out of every block here except the black glass and the quartz bricks. I just love the contrast. It goes well in really any biome in this game. So of course, let's walk through it. White concrete, quartz bricks, bone blocks, which are really neat in all the different ways they can be placed. Blackstone, this is black glass, and then this is the redstone lamp, I believe. So I think this really creates an elegant design, whatever you decide to do with it, and I definitely did something unique. This one's definitely a little bit out there. It's an unidentified flying object, or as you might know it, a UFO. I left the top open here so I could just fall in and show you. Little detail on the top, of course, lots of black glass for that transparency. One neat thing I did was a little bit of a color gradient. The most saturated of the light blocks is the quartz bricks, then it moves up into bone blocks, and then the least saturated here is the white concrete. Down here, I left the redstone wiring open and the lamps are all lit up. You'll see that from the bottom side as well, but I thought it was cool. You could show all the little levers and redstone and whatever else these little aliens are up to, I suppose. On the bottom side, though, I wanted to show something I did with World Edit. All of these are built with World Edit, but this was something that came together really quickly because of the tool. It's this little beam that's coming down into the earth. I don't know what the aliens are picking up, but I hope they like it. Our third standard block palette has cobble, mossy cobble, smooth stone, birch leaves, acacia wood, and then a couple different variations of dead coral out of all things here. So fly up, fly over. You can see I built a custom tree, and then it is surrounded by a stone wall. Coming down here, there is a path that leads in. You can see the acacia wood, and then there's those dead coral kind of making up for where the stem is definitely a little disconnected. The stones here are all mixed in, all sorts of different cuts and variations of those stones. I think I mixed andesite in here too, yep. So it didn't stick strictly to the palette. There's ferns and grasses, sea pickles in the water here, providing plenty of light, soul campfires, and then something interesting here that I would encourage you all to try in your builds is throwing a different color in there. The acacia sapling, it's a different color green, and it's a completely different color brown that's not in the rest of the build. But when we zoom out and then we look at those acacia saplings, they actually look really, really neat and sort of pop. This next one, I've never seen a couple of blocks mixed in before. It has terracotta and bricks, which I usually see blended with some granite, but no granite inside. I've actually mixed in oak and spruce fences, I believe both of those, loom block, note blocks, and jukeboxes, which have the same side textures, so I use them interchangeably. And then this dark one here is gray terracotta. So this one is this temple looking kind of sacred place here. I think, oh, there's also redstone lamps, but you can see here that the gray terracotta brings in a nice dark foundation for the floor, and then as we move up, there is the brick and the terracotta. There's the note block, which has that same color on the middle as usually the terracotta does, but if we see it in the floor, it has pretty much the same outline color as that gray terracotta, which is so, so neat. On the top here, these little arches, they have the oak and spruce fences, like I mentioned, some fence gates as well. One block I used to transition was the loom because it has that reddish purplish texture on the side, but then almost the same color as the fence on the edges and then on this side. And then small little details are the pots and then item frames, I believe, if you look on the outside, that again have the wood texture and then more of a red texture. This one, I can't get it to work right. This is supposed to be the warped nylium, which is like the blue nether grass, but of course it keeps transitioning to netherrack because there's a block above it. Speaking of blocks above it, we have smooth stone, and then the slab variant of that, smooth andesite, dark prismarine, red nether brick, and then the warped nylium, of course, that keeps on transitioning. So this definitely looks like a 2013 Relish Modern House tutorial with some new and updated blocks. So that is for sure. So this first entranceway here, you just come up, you can see the smooth stone and the andesite playing off of each other. I decided to do something cool with the end rods and the red nether brick walls. I didn't even know this game had red nether brick walls. I'm learning things each time I build. Definitely a modern flair here with all the glass. There's some storage here if you so desire. There's the white shulker boxes come down. I put a bunch of like armor stands here to kind of bring all the colors into play, but I'm not sure how quite that turned out here. There's almost like a backside here. Even you can see the shulker texture again. I did banners. I really just tried to bring all of the colors into one cohesive design. On the top, I would consider this like a rooftop garden. There's like these end rods I'm using as the like middle of the tree, and then spruce leaves, the warped nylium, here it is with a bunch of vegetation. Number 6 here, look at this. We have prismarine bricks, blue ice, there's cyan concrete powder, and jungle leaves, warped fence gates and fences, and then for a light source I chose the soul lantern. So this is one where, yes, I kept the biome in mind here. This would probably not look the best in something like a savanna or a desert where it's more yellowish red, or like something like a mesa, but something where the main colors are blue, such as ocean, any sort of ice biome, or here in the jungle. That's where this type of block palette belongs. This has always been something I've wanted to build, and of course it's on a small scale, but we have a bridge connecting two different parts of the island. Below here, I wanted to show you first these soul lanterns, this elevated prismarine bricks, and then what a cool perspective with the jungle leaves dripping down. On the top is where we're going to have the powder connected with the hill, just that transition between a brighter blue and the green. I think that really smoothed out the transition. The blue ice here is on the top. Actually, you can go pretty fast, which might provide some functionality on the bridge. And then, of course, our safety rails have to be the warped fences. Okay, maybe this one stretches yours or my definition of survival friendly. It's got brown mushroom block, honeycomb, and either the bee nest or the beehive, and I can't remember the name of it, so I'm just gonna call it a bee nest. Some more obtainable blocks are the yellow concrete, red wool, and black glazed terracotta. This was definitely the most adventurous one, and I wasn't quite sure what to do, so I defaulted on a fantasy theme, and I made a hobbit hole. You'll see it approaching here. Actually, I even did a little bit of like terraforming around it with these little flowers. Same colors as the build, so it kind of greets you. Additionally, I didn't stick to the main palette. I added oak wood variations in the planks, and then the acacia fences, all in the kind of the same color family, so I hope you'll excuse me. But welcome into my hobbit hole. I love the high ceilings. That's the first thing that got me. The walls all have colors that transition really nicely, which of course turned out way better than expected, more than I could possibly imagine. There's storage, there's ways to get up and down the staircase, and then there's these are the brown mushroom blocks, but like you take the more mushroom blocks and then you delete them, and when it's like connected like that, it creates like this inside block that has a sandy pebble texture. If we all knew that trick, but if you didn't, you just learned something new. Continuing upstairs, you see I couldn't stop myself. This one was too much fun. There's this alternate entrance here, and again, I think the height is really something that makes this one feel like it's not even underground. So with all of my 7 block palettes explained and exemplified, I think I'm gonna go ahead and wrap this video up. Thank y'all so much for being here. I really appreciate hearing from y'all in the comments section. If that's something you'd like to do, let me know whether I explain things well. Let me know about editing and pacing, all those good things. I'd love to hear genuine feedback on that. Let me know about these builds. Let me know which one was like your favorite, or which one you'd be most likely to use if you were to build something from one of these. Also, give me recommendations on what else to do with this series, which is focused on Minecraft gameplay, building, and community. Seriously, I'd love to hear from y'all. Other ways to help and support the channel are to give it a like, give it a subscribe if you want to see more from this series and from Mindful SMP, which is my survival series. And then sharing with a friend actually goes a really long way. I'd highly recommend that. I would love to see some new faces around here. Other ways to connect with me, of course, are on Twitter. If you want to reach out at twitter.com/alpenglowup. And then I live stream on Twitch quite a bit at twitch.tv/alpenglowup. So I'll see y'all next time, or see y'all on my other platforms. Again, really appreciate you being here, and I really hope y'all have a good rest of your day. Y'all, I full disclosure, I'm going to put a 2013 Corellis, I'm gonna put one of those videos in the description because I just love Corellis too much. Seriously. Thank you, Corellis, for this inspiration. So glad it's coming back in style in 2020.